I often will find unclaimed property for people. And this one lady, I found 36 different entries for her mother where she had all this money that nobody ever collected. And I promise you, it was over $250,000.
So, our society seems to avoid conversations about death. Why do you think this is the case? And do you know if other societies are more open to talking about this? And how can we talk about death more freely?
That is such a good question. I don't know about other societies per se, but I think we're doing ourselves a disservice by not talking about it, because then we leave people in a really bad position. Like, it's not bad enough that you died, you left a mess, you didn't talk to me about it, I have no idea what you want, you're hurting your family by not talking about it. I mean, you don't have to tell them everything. You don't have to give them the fine details of your trust if you don't want to, if you feel like, oh, I don't want my kids to feel sort of unmotivated, or, a lot of people think that if they know money's coming, they might not be motivated to do their own life and their own career. But you certainly need to talk to people about what you have planned so they know what to do, and you keep your stuff, like I said, organized and in a place they can find it. Keep phone numbers for your lawyers and your CPAs and all the different people they'll need to contact, so they're not extra stressed out because they're already sad because you died. But everybody's going to die. So what are you going to do? You just got to talk about it. Sit down, have some coffee, have a conversation. It's going to be okay. You die faster when you talk about death. I think a lot of it is psychological, right? You think, oh, if I talk about it, well, might happen. But it's not like that.
Yeah. I am an avid follower of, it's called The Order of the Good Death. And it talks about how different cultures, societies deal with death, and then how we can plan for death. So it's sometimes seen as like a green movement for death because it goes like alternative routes. And I've always wanted aquamation to be a thing. So instead of cremation with fire, it's aqua with water. And it's only available right now, I think, in 7 states. It maybe just passed in California, and it's always been around in Washington. So shout out Kiana. But so I think it's really important to keep up to date on things that you can, do when you do pass, because like my parents, if I passed before them, they would never know that I wanted to do aquamation if I hadn't just blurted it out at our kitchen table one night and was like, yeah, so if I die before you, this is what I want.
Yeah.
So definitely, is there any kind of like options that you give to people for how to prepare for the end?
So I don't deal with anything medical or anything funeral, but I have friends who are death doulas, who are fantastic, and they walk through the end of your life with you and help you kind of figure out what you want to do, how you want to spend your last few days or last few months or whatever, and really help you think about spiritually, like, how am I going to approach this ending of mine? And they're amazing. I saw one today and they're just amazing. It's such a great option for people to have, because a lot of times your family is frantic because you're dying, but this person just comes in and they're just like all heart, and they're just like, hey, let's talk about this. What do you want to do? And it really can change your perspective. Maybe you want no medication. Maybe you want, a completely different kind of burial like you're talking about. I'm so curious what you're talking about. I've seen this one where you can be buried like in a tree, like you can be planted and you grow up into a tree. And I always think about donating my body to science. I don't know. I feel like at least that's something good's going to come out of it. But I think people are so attached to, this is how we always did it. And like I said before, never a good answer. There's a million different other options, but you have to just decide for yourself, what would I really want? Like, I would love to have some like Led Zeppelin at my funeral. You know what I mean? Let's do something cool. You know what I mean? I'm going to die either way. You guys might as well enjoy yourselves, Get a little loud and air guitar,
Yes.
But so what is that what'd you call it? Aquamation?
Aquamation, yes. So they put you in like this tube. If you've ever seen like an iron lung, it kind of looks like that. So I know that's like a reference to polio that other people might not get, but it spins you around, and most of the liquid in it is just water. And it decomposes you, and I can be totally wrong about like the medical terms of this, but it decomposes you so that all of your organic material is almost non-traceable in the water, and
Oh.
you do go out in the regular sewer system
Oh.
of whatever country you're at. Yeah, you can kind of you just get flushed away, and then your bones stay, and that portion is cremated. So
Oh.
it's more like environmental friendly. It's not as taxing on like machinery and things like that, or it doesn't put waste in the air. And there is still something that your family gets because your bones are still there.
Hmm.
But yeah, especially like people that have hip transplants or things like that, when you cremate those at a certain temperature, it gives off toxic fumes.
Oh.
And so the aquamation lessens that risk because then you can just pull out the metal
Wow.
before it gets cremated.
Fascinating. Wow. That's
Yeah.
so
So
interesting.
yeah, you could definitely the Order of the Good Death, look that up. And then
I will.
Caitlin Doty is one of the people. She has a YouTube and everything that covers aquamation or compost burials, things like that, all as alternatives to just getting embalmed and then being interred.
Yeah. I love that. I think in every part of your life, you should do what you want to do, right? I mean, if you want to have kids, don't have kids, you want to be buried a certain way, you want to get divorced, you want to do whatever you want to do, just do it your own way. At the end of the day, you got to live with you,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
enjoy your funeral.
Die with you.
Yes, enjoy your funeral. I would totally have some K-pop blasting and be like, well, mom and dad, this is the last time you have to hear it.
Right.
I'm always assuming I go before my mom and dad, but yes. Yes.
That's funny.
Yuki.
I feel like this is our most laughiest episode.
Yeah. No, good. Just normalizing
Yeah,
the
it's a normal thing.
conversation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. We've kind of gone through everything that you've done. How do you balance all of your accomplishments, your responsibilities, your life?
Oh, I'm not very good at that. I'm kind
So
of
you're not organized either.
well, no, I mean,
Okay.
I am a minimalist a little bit now
Okay.
because that has
Yeah.
really created that in me working in this industry.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say I'm 100% organized, but I also, I try to have fun. I decided the other day I'm going to make an effort to have fun every day because it's not my priority, which is so weird. I'm a Capricorn and I'm just like a workaholic by nature. So it's like fun to me to work. So creating my fun list is in the process. But I also, go to yoga and paddleboard and do stuff like that and hang out with my kids and my son's dog. So cute.
Mhm.
So cute.
What do you suggest we do? Should we make a will or should we make a trust?
Well, it depends. Not everybody needs a trust, but I think a will gives people guidance and can keep you out of probate court, which is what you want. But that's a great lawyer question. Each person is individual. So it just depends on what assets you have. Can it be just a beneficiary on your assets, or do you need to have a trust to put it in to protect it? So that's a really good question.
A lawyer question. Can you give us like a sneak peek of something in regards to legacy planning? Because what is legacy planning?
So legacy planning is getting organized in advance. So there's this thing called the estate tax return, and I used to do work on these returns. And if you have, over this $15 million threshold, you need to file an estate tax return. And in order to do that, you need to know all the assets, all the account numbers. You need to know date of death values. You need to get everything appraised, like art collections, all the different stuff. And I created this document in the order of this estate tax return. It would be good for anybody, right? But it would be good for the CPA if you have this over $15 million situation, or, your trustee, your people, your family, your personal representative. And it basically just says everything: your assets, your kids' social security numbers, your attorney's phone number, your account numbers, who's your financial advisor, and do you have any boats? Do you have any prior marriages? Do you have any illegitimate kids? Where do you want to be married? What's your plan? And it just really covers everything you can think of. And in a perfect world, everybody would just do this because it doesn't take long. And you can sit and have coffee with me, and we can talk and figure things out, and you'll be ready, and your family will be ready. And then get to stick it in a drawer till the time comes.
I feel like the next time that I watch a drama or read a book that's, a billionaire gave me all this money and now I have to fight for, things, I'll be like, ugh, you should have just gotten a trust.
Should have, right? Hello, you should have been
Yes.
prepared. Just because they say it doesn't make it true.
Yes.
There's a lot of people who think they're getting money and then they end up not getting money because the person went behind their back and said, no, don't give it to that kid. Or their spouse, their soon to be spouse, and then they die. Or there's the reverse. I've seen where a couple lived in like very modest means their whole life, and he died, and she had $12 million and she had no idea. Right. So sometimes people keep secrets about what they have. Sometimes it's good, sometimes not as good. Sometimes people leave debt.
You said illegitimate kids. So how does that throw a wrench in the plans of everything?
Well, so this is interesting. I actually worked on a case like this. So same case where he had $12 million. So the wife finds out there's $12 million. Well, there's also an illegitimate child in the trust, and we had to find her. She was supposed to be living in Poland, I think, but we ended up finding her in Ireland or England or something like that. And we had to convince her that we were real and that there was money for her and that her dad died. And that was really interesting, trying to find her. But of course, LinkedIn, that's where we found her. It wasn't that complicated. Now these days you can find people so easily. But so she was like, I don't know you, stranger saying you have money. I mean, what would you say if somebody called, hey, I have $100,000 for you?
Yeah. I would think it's a scam. Do you come across a lot of people just think you're a scam and just blow you off?
Well, no, but there is this thing called unclaimed property. And I often will find unclaimed property for people. And this one lady, I found 36 different entries for her mother where she had all this money that nobody ever collected. And I promise you, it was over $250,000. And so I reached out to her and I said, hey, you have all this unclaimed property here. You want me to help you find it? And at first she was totally into it, but then she went to a dinner party with her family and somebody talked her out of it. And I never heard from her again. But at least she's still getting her money.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, she's still going to hopefully get her money. But, but there are people, you can become a locator and the government will license you to do that. And they give you a list and everything like that. But of course, they have to license you and charge you a bunch of money to do it. So, but yeah, the money out there.
Yeah, if no one shows up, then there's all this like money floating around, or this property
sits in the state account and just sits there until somebody claims it.
Wow. So there's not like a time limit that like up to maybe 30 years. No?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because this woman was probably 90 and her mom, it was her mom's. So her mom was probably already dead 20 years and it was still there. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a bunch of websites with there's treasury bond one, there's a pension one, there's life insurance one, there's just regular unclaimed property. I was thinking about doing a class just on finding assets. It's so fun.
Yeah, that would be very helpful and cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do it for my friends. I search out my friends. I'm like, hey, you got money.
Nice little bonus of having you in their lives.
Yeah.
Mhm. Wow. Gosh.
So, do you think even maybe like 100 years down the line, do these cases get reopened, or what's the responsibility on that? So someone dies, no one claims their assets, but they still have relatives, and then suddenly this one relative is like curious about their family tree and they find this, like,
Yeah. So, for example, let's say I found an asset that was my grandma's. So the first people who would be entitled to it would be her kids, and I still have an aunt somewhere. So they wouldn't give it to me; they would give it to her. But if she was dead, God forbid, then me and my sister and all her cousins would have to share this asset, right? So whoever's on the same level. So they ask you right on the forms, who else might be entitled to this. They don't just go, oh, you applied, great, here you go.
Okay.
They do some research. But yeah, it'll
Mhm.
just sit there until somebody claims it. So let's say my whole generation dies and then my kids find it, then they can apply for it. So there's tons of money, billions of dollars out there just sitting. They're from like insurance companies or credit cards or refunds or what else do I see a lot of? Banks, just all kinds of weird things.
it's kind of scary because, like, it just feels kind of weird that it's just there.
Yeah. So they call it escheating. It's a weird word. ESCHEATING to the estate. So let's say you have a bank account and you haven't touched it in 10 years. What the say Comerica Bank will do is they'll send it over to the estate and just say, hey, nobody's claimed this money, nobody's touched this account. And then it just sits there in this other bank account at the state in your state. There's a website called missingmoney.com, and that's where all the states are. And that will direct you to your individual state to check your, you just put in your name and search away. It's a lot of fun. You should look.
Yeah, I think I know what Kiana and I are doing after this.
Check your parents, check your siblings, check your grandparents.
Wow.
It's a fun activity. You could have friends over, have a girls' night out. Do something functional. You can call me if you need any tips.
Yeah, of course. Like,
Yeah.
amazing.
Great. Well, I have one last question. If your present self could give your past self any advice, what would it be and why?
Oh my God, just have more fun, because I've been serious my whole life. And, going swimming when you're a kid and, I don't get my hair wet, like all the different things. I could have had more fun not worrying about the little stupid thing, that, just go have fun and enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And eat the cake.
And eat the cake.
Yeah. Eat the cake.
Eat the ice cream, better yet, because I love ice cream.
Yes. Well, I hope that you make your list of fun. Definitely share if you'd like to.
I need to.
Kiana, Kiana, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, actually, I do. Well, your whole line of work is so interesting. So, but you say that people receive relief when you work with them, but what you said that you get dirty, you have to go through this 16-page legacy planning list.
Yeah.
What is the most challenging aspect of your work, and how do you cope with it?
Sometimes I deal with people who are very, very stressed. And I think it's just a practice of not attaching yourself to their stress, like we were talking before. And I think that's a skill you build. I don't think it, and some days I'm like, ugh, I gotta take a break from that girl, whatever. And so I just make sure that I go do something fun or do a meditation or something where I'm leaving that at work, because it can get, stressful, especially when you're a trustee of somebody and, they're stressed out or, those kind of things. So it can be stressful. Or things fall through, let's say you hired somebody to do a job and they don't do a good job, and, that's on you, right? Because you trusted that person to do a good job. That can be really frustrating, because we always want to do our best and make our clients happy.
This was a very enlightening interview. So,
yes. Be my favorite for this season so far.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've done like 4 already. So
Okay.
yeah,
I'm in the top 4.
Definitely. We're in the top at least 2.
Okay. I'll take it.
Yes.
I'll take it.
Yes. Well, thank you for studying with us today. We hope you can join us for our next podcast episode, where we will have another study session discussing social sciences in reality. As my cat flees.